Trevor, when you look at it, 7:45 talkSPORT exclusive. Everton go to Watford, and of course already relegated Watford. If Everton survive, Trevor, what does it do for Frank Lampard in terms of his stock as a manager?
I think it goes up. I think we were questioning him. He went in there. Everton weren't in the bottom three. They slipped into the bottom three under his stewardship, and I think questions were raised about Frank, but I think he's got a right turn out the players. They've reacted in the right way. They've shown some guts. They've shown some resilience. They've shown that fight that he needs to get them in a position where what happens this season is in their own hands. And I look at this game now after the back of the Leicester win, and I think if they go to Watford and win, I think that's them safe. 4 points above it with 3 or 4 games to go. I think that's them safe. So there's a massive carrot in this game, and I think the Everton players, they'll be confident. They obviously have worked with Frank and his coaches for a little bit longer now. They'll understand what's accepted and what's regarded as enough in a game, and that's putting it all out there and leaving it all out there and making sure that Everton, a great club like Everton, definitely stay in the Premier League. And I think if they win this game, they stay up.
Well, if they win it, Simon, they go 4 points clear of Burnley and Leeds.
I think Trevor's right in his analysis that if they win this game, they'll have given themselves the safety net. I don't think he's covered himself in glory. I think he's had a bit of fortune in terms of the players have grasped the nettle because they've suddenly realised that they're staring into a trapdoor. Their goalkeeper has been absolutely outstanding.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And they've played against 3 teams that you would have picked them to get no points against that have been poor in those 3 games. Leicester asleep at the wheel after losing the conference semi-final, which I thought they might be because they would have been demoralised by the fact they were playing for nothing. Chelsea seemed to be all over the place and Man United are crap. And I think you have to take those 3 games in isolation. You can't just
Say
take
what you mean.
And, you can't take it away just from Everton. They had to turn up in his games and do something.
Yeah.
But I think Frank Lampard wasn't brought in to make it worse. He was brought in to make it better. And I think it's interesting that they've managed to find themselves away from it. And I think tragically, it may well be Leeds that fill that third spot.
Okay. I mean, to be fair to Lampard, he says confidence is good and it's growing in the Everton camp going into this one.
That happens with winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it should be. They've won games against Manchester United, Chelsea, drew with Chelsea and Leicester. They beat Chelsea, didn't they?
Let's hear Frank on that very subject, actually.
It doesn't matter what we think or too much now or where we're at. It's what matters is that we just keep doing the things that have helped us to perform in this recent batch of games. And, when I first come in, there was a nice bounce. And we found a few difficulties in certain games. We've always had the bounce at Goodison. We've always, since I've been here, performed well at Goodison and generally got the right results. But away from home has been the problem. But I think now there's certainly a feeling within the group from the last 2 results, 2 wins back-to-back was a big thing for us to break. Because we've seen with Burnley how a run of wins changes the face of it very quickly. And that was important for us. And all the players need to do is continue with the mindset we've got at this moment, the togetherness of everyone who's starting, the subs, the people that come on, the people that are training every day to keep the same mentality that we have.
I mean, they couldn't be more fortunate, Everton, to be honest, Trevor, at this particular time, to go to Watford, who are already gone.
Yeah, but they've earned that right.
Right.
Simon just mentioned the teams that they beat. Leicester, I mean, Mikalenko, I've criticised him thinking he's not quite ready for the Premier League defensively, but what a strike that was to win that game for him. Chelsea, European champions, have gone to European champions and beat them, and obviously Manchester United, who, a big club in their own right, to get them results, they've put themselves in position now to go to Watford and win that game. And like we mentioned earlier, I think if they get 4 points ahead at this stage of the season, that's them pretty much safe. Although Frank won't be telling them that.
The crowd have done them a solid. The fans at Goodison have done them an absolute solid. Interesting one for me is, and I don't want to go for... I mean, I'm not enamoured with Lampard's contribution. I don't think he set the Heather...
Why?
Because I just don't think he set the Heather Alliance. And I think there's been times during that period of time where...
wasn't it given that he would?
Well, that's what he was brought in to do. He was brought in for a bounce. They didn't have a bounce. They just were worse for a period of time. Now... They've gotten out of it and they've gotten away with it this time. What's going to be interesting is what they do next year, because they've got no more money to spend. They've got the same restrictions upon them. So we're going to see if Frank Lampard is a Premier League manager. Because there's all this talk, me included, about Lampard and the unfairness of the treatment at Chelsea and how I thought he had the calibre to be a football manager.
Yeah.
I've become more impressed with Steven Gerrard in the last 6 months and less impressed with Frank Lampard.
Okay. All right.
And we'll see.
Do you see any problems on the horizon, Mr. Sinclair, for Manchester City at Wolves?
Yeah, I see problems. They're
Wolves are hot and cold, though.
well organised side. They've not been great recently. You look at their form and they've lost games that earlier on in the season they wouldn't lose. I think Bruno Lage done a great job. They play a certain style, 3-5-2. It's a difficult formation at times to play against. But just the way Manchester City are playing since the Real Madrid loss, even that Real Madrid game, 179 minutes, they were a better team. And then all of a sudden, through no rhyme or reason, this is football, it happens. But the performance then to pick themselves up for the Newcastle game, and I know Newcastle are not the Newcastle that we got 3 months ago when they were desperate, fighting for their lives and winning games after games after games. Yeah. This is a slightly different Newcastle where they're comfortable now, they're safe. But it's still, they had to pick themselves up and play that game, and a 5-0 win, superb going forward.
So you could have said all that last Thursday morning.
I couldn't speak.
But yeah, that was it. That was right.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.